So this is the beginning of the restoration on the two GT18s. So this one here is a 79 GT18 and this one here is a 78 GT18. This one has the original 18 horsepower on-in and that runs actually really good. Only thing is the charging system and the wiring is a little messed up, so it doesn't quite like work correctly, but it does run good. This one has a mid-80s 8 horsepower Briggs that has a cast iron cylinder on it, so it's a really good engine. And that's going to be the engine that's going to stay in here. Both tractors are pretty much complete. This one's missing a side cover right here, but I'm going to end up making one. Of course, it has the pulley cover and the side cover. This one has the pulley cover and the side cover on it. So I'm going to have to do something different with the side of the hood here because it has this little thing someone cut up. And this hood is very badly bent. It doesn't really latch at all. And you can see how it's kind of not quite right. I mean, it doesn't even want to latch. This hood's nice and straight other than it's a little bent right here. And that's no big deal to fix. Seats are kind of, this is some wiring for it. Seats are kind of bad. This one's got like a garbage bag that's taped to it. And this one here is just plain ugly. So I'm going to have to either reupholster these seats or get new seats for them. But I'll figure that out. I've got the decals for these already made. So I'm going to get some stuff on these tore apart and I will come back when I get some progress. Okay, I am back with by far the biggest mess I have ever had. Here, I'll go to the wide angle mode so you can see the whole thing. There we go. So, I don't even know where to even start here. Never tear apart two tractors at the same time. I've done this before, but for some reason this looks like a lot more of a mess this time than ever before. That's bad. Or at least pick up the mess from the first time. So the second tractor, so that's the single cylinder one. The transmission on it, which is this one here, is completely messed up. The high-low range lever is actually broke off because it's like full of water on the inside. It leaks oil out of pretty much every single seal that it has. There's some oil right there in that area. So this thing is going to get completely tore apart and I'll figure out exactly what it needs and replace those parts. See, I got the steering wheel off. It actually came right off. Dash is right here for it. It only has a crack right here in the corner. But you can just barely see. It's not that bad. The other dash, I believe, is like perfect. So when I take the steering wheel off, I'm going to have to be really careful. Yeah, there's no cracks on this side, and there's nothing on that side, so that is flawless. I'm sure there's somebody watching right now that's like, I really want one of those dashes. And so do I, because I could actually use a couple of these. Hard to find, and sometimes it's like if you touch them, they'll just shatter into a million pieces. But it's like these are like perfectly solid for some reason. And these were sitting outside for a very long time, so some are better than others, I guess. I had to cut the clutch pedal because it wouldn't come apart, so my hands are clean, so I won't touch it a whole lot. But here's the part that I had to cut off because those two pins, so there's a pin right there and right there that I had a hard time taking apart on the other one, and I had an even worse struggle on this one getting off, so I just said, whatever, I will just cut it off. So I will come back when I get this disaster picked up. So I had everything all organized, and then I decided to do some work on that transmission that's kind of messed up. So I replaced that high-low range lever. This part right here was actually kind of broken off. So what happened is it got stuck, and then eventually it actually just snapped. Those two little fins that look like that it actually snapped off right there. Because right here, this little piece here is super rusty. It moves extremely hard. I actually spent some time trying to fix it and then gave up. Gears on the transmission are a little messed up. You can see whoever had this did a lot of shifting while it was moving. On these transmissions, you're supposed to come to a complete stop before you shift. And right there is a good example of what happens when you don't. That one's not too bad, but it's still pretty bad. That one's pretty bad. It's supposed to be straight just like it is on top, on the bottom. And then this is what happens right here if you continually shift while it's moving. Eventually it'll completely strip out. So I'm going to get the rest of this transmission cleaned up because it is super nasty. And I will come back when this is cleaned up, probably put together, and then I'm going to start working on some other stuff here. So I got a bunch of stuff done. I got the transmission put back together. So that's all fixed. I put a new seal in right here, and I had a little issue on how the bearing fit, and I didn't really like how it fit, so I put a little bit of glue around there just to make sure that it wasn't going to leak. I debent this hood because this hood was really badly bent, kind of like this way. And then both sides were kind of bending straight out because this back of it was actually completely flattened out when I got it. And now this hood is just about perfect. I actually went and I fitted on a dash and it fits great. It doesn't want to come off on one side, it fits perfect. This was all bent up here before. All I really had to do is get a hammer out and kind of pound it against the concrete floor. And then I had a pliers and just kind of started bending at it until I got it just right. And I just realized I had to fine tune. Still need to fine tune that corner right here a little bit more, but that's not a big deal. I got these front frames down to bare metal for the most part. This one here still has some sticker residue to do to get off. For some reason I wasn't able to get these front axles off, so I'm just going to have to paint it with those on there. Yeah, I will come back when I get some more progress. So I got everything down to bare metal, or at least somewhat down to bare metal as best as I could. So everything from the fenders, floorboards, to engine shrouds, to the actual frames, all that is right here. Kind of just a mess of everything. I need to clean it. As you can see, it's extremely dusty. I need to go through and clean everything before painting. Over here is all the tires, and I painted the rims. That was the project yesterday. That took a lot of time because I had to sand everything down and get everything painted. Transmission is right here. I need to either replace this hub that's still on it or somehow fix it because these bolts are kind of messed up, so they're actually broken off. Then somebody drilled holes in here and put new bolts in beside it, so I'm not sure if I'm going to just keep doing that or put a different hub on here. And you can see, since the hub wobbles, that it'll come right off. Brake band is a little messed up, but I can replace that. The two front fiberglass nose parts are here along with the dashes. I filled in all the holes and stuff on them, and those are now fixed, and I think they look pretty good. So this one has something splashed up on the side, but that'll come off when I clean them to paint. So yeah, that's it for this video. Kind of a boring video this time, but next one I'll actually have a little bit more of actual like putting the tractors together. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll have the other video up whenever I get this stuff painted and then start putting them together.